You smoke. Start out here, citizens of the universe, getting it on, partying on the mothership. When Gable's horn blow, you better be ready to go. Swing low, time to move on. Light years in time, ahead of our time. Free your mind, come fly with me. It's hip on the mothership. Grooving, start y'all here. Coming forth to take you home. Get it on. I don't think they had you, man. I don't think they had you.
Give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be on in 1 second. Let me get on this thing. Hold on, y'all. I'm in here. I'm just making adjustments. Let me stop the music. Sometimes I even take that long because I be behind the scenes trying to get things together, making sure every website works. So sometimes if I take too long, then you know what's going on, man. I'm not playing no games. Just in case you wondered where I was yesterday, I had to handle some personal affairs. You know, I had to help out some people, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes I got to do some church work, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, some people around me may need a little bit of help. You know, sometimes I got to go out my way and make sure that everybody is put together. Everybody got some money, everybody doing their thing. As you can see on the screen, this was actually a request. If you've seen my last post on my, on all my social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and all of that, the last cartoon that I worked on was, what was the last cartoon I worked on? Oh yeah, Underdog. So the last cartoon I worked on was Underdog. So basically, I got a couple requests because people told me that Underdog wasn't the most popular thing at that time. They said it was extremely popular back then, you know, in the 60s and 70s, but they said Pink Panther was very popular. People said that they seen balloons of Pink Panther in the sky right around the, certain holidays and things of that nature. Pink Panther was a big thing back then. See, I didn't know this because, like I said, this is way before my generation. I'm just speaking on things that I have researched and seen on the internet. Now, I thought the Pink Panther character would be interesting because if you look at the character, and this is for all my cartoon enthusiasts, if you look at the character of Pink Panther, because this is his original colors right here on this one, and if you notice, the Pink Panther cartoon outlines is pink. Think about that. His outlines is pink. The inside of his eyes is yellow. And then his whiskers is black. Very rare. Very rare have you seen this in cartoon history. Damn near ever. Like if you ever, you know, did your research on cartoons, most cartoons, like some of them, it's actually very rare that they will have outer edges. It's pink. That's not like something that's very common within anybody that even draws anything. You damn near, I don't think you damn near ever see any drawing with pink outlines, especially like a character that is a panther that's pink. Yeah, that was a very rare thing, very unique thing, one of a kind. So I thought that was interesting when they told me to design this one. So like we always do at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I'm live on each site, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. So Facebook, I do see I am in the game on Facebook. Let me check. Yep, Facebook, I'm in this thing. Twitch, I'm in this thing. Shout out to the people of Twitch. Trovo, I'm in this thing. Shout out to the people of Trovo. Now let me check Behance. Behance, my audio has been building slowly. Behance, if you're in the building, please let me know. I need to see that representation. Okay, yeah. See, I'm already on Behance. I already got people watching that fast. Yo, shout out to the people of Behance showing glory to the game. I appreciate you. Now, I got one more site. I'm missing something. Oh, YouTube. How am I forget YouTube? And that's the main site I'm I'm going live on. Okay, so YouTube. Okay, we connected. Nobody's here yet, but we connected. Yeah, you know, I'm just now coming in. I don't expect anybody, but I appreciate anybody that comes in and checks this video. If you are watching this video back on YouTube and whatever, you can go ahead and skip all this. But if you watching this live, then you got to deal with me. You got to deal with me live. My apologies. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do when it comes down to any type of cartoon situation, when it comes down to Adobe Illustrator, what you want to do is grab whatever reference image that you're using, whether you're tracing on that or you're just using it as a reference image. What you want to do is just grab it and drag and drop. Drag it inside of Adobe Illustrator. Just go ahead and drag that thing in there. Let me put my glasses on. Let me put on my reading glasses. These expensive reading glasses, by the way. So what you want to do is go ahead and drag that in. Drag that in. Once you got it dragged in, it'll look something like what you see on this screen. Now, today what we're going to be doing is the normal exercise that I always show you guys to beginners. We're going to be using the pen tool and the curvature tool. So once you have your picture dragged inside, what you want to do is double click that layer 1 option. Look at the bottom right hand corner of your screen. If you're looking at my screen, you should be able to see it. It's on the right hand bottom corner. It says layer 1. Double click that. Once you double click it, a menu will pop up. You, of course, won't see that if you're watching this from live. But if you're following me on Illustrator, you should see everything I'm seeing. All right. Now click on template and then click OK. Boom. Once you do that, it's going to dim that image. Go to the bottom of the screen and click on the plus sign. It's right next to the trash can. The plus sign will create a new layer. Click that. Boom. Once you click that, you've now started a new layer that you can draw on. So now let's go to the left side toolbar menu. On the left side toolbar menu, you see two boxes, an open box and a closed box. The closed box, which is white, we're going to hit that red line under that to turn that off. So we only have our line tool so we can draw. Now, if you leave the other box on, then that's going to actually create color inside of your lines. You don't want that. Well, you probably want that for certain parts, but for, the beginning line work, you don't want that. So we're going to click on the curvature tool. Remember, I'm going to tell y'all real quick, just in case you're new to watching these videos or you're watching this video back on YouTube. on YouTube or whatever platform I'm on. The pen tool is for the straight lines. I'm going to show y'all an example real quick. For the pen tool, we're going to be using that to hit all the straight lines, all the spiky lines, all the long lines. You see, as I'm using it right now, this is how it looks once you use the pen tool. So anybody who doesn't know the pen tool functions, this is how the pen tool functions. Now let me show you the curvature tool. The curvature tool is where you get most of your curvy lines. So what you want to do is use this tool to bend lines, to do the curvy lines. This is how it works. Somebody is texting me. Shout out to that person. And yeah, this is how the curvature tool works. Excuse me. Almost got distracted from that text message. But what we're gonna do? Let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna use the pen tool and the curvature tool for the lines. Like if you notice in most cartoon designs, what you'll be doing for most of the design, you will be using your curvature tool, because most cartoons are curved unless they may have some spiky lines in the hair and stuff of that nature. But let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, let me make sure nobody said nothing. Let's see, Facebook, Twitch, Trovo, Behance. I gotta actually, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna actually go to my space on Behance so I can see if anybody is commenting. I do not want anybody to feel like I'm ignoring them or anything of that nature. Okay, let me exit that so we're not hearing no echo. Let's check YouTube. And we good. All right, we good. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so now the very first thing that I usually do is I usually start from the top to the bottom, but this is really a preference thing. You can start with wherever you want to start, whatever makes you comfortable, and you can follow these tutorials that you see on my page. You can follow these however you want to follow them, whichever makes you comfortable. One thing about art, you know, some people work unorthodox. Some people like to work within, you know, perfect steps. Now, you don't necessarily have to follow this with perfect steps. I just want you to understand and learn these steps. So by the time you do get into the point of doing this program, you do have, you know, an understanding of how this is getting put together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Sorry about for taking so long, y'all. I just want to make sure for the new people, they kind of have an understanding of the way this works. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on his ear. We're using the curvature tool. As you see, as I'm curving those lines, as I'm moving the mouse, those lines are curving. You want to keep clicking and curve those lines correctly. And we're also overlapping the lines. If you notice, I'm overlapping the lines. All of this is for a reason. I overlap the lines for a reason because I want to make sure that all the lines are as crispy as possible. Crispy just means clean. You want these lines to just be clean. So right now, as you see, I'm just making adjustments, making these lines nice and clean as possible. Let's do his eyes. You could either do a circle in this type of way by just using the curvature tool. This is more of an oval. I'll show you guys another way. Let me delete this. Delete that. If you right click the shape tool, well, it says rectangle tool, but we all call it the shape tool in the Illustrator community. Right click that, choose the ellipse tool. Boom. Once you choose the ellipse tool, all you have to do is drag out a circle just like that with your mouse. Drag it out like that and then turn it to however you see fit. Just make whatever adjustments you have to do to make it close to whatever you want to make it to. Another way to make a circle is what you want to do is to get a perfect circle, not necessarily an oval. You want to hold shift and then drag it down just like that. Boom. I'm going to use my selection tool to drag it over and make adjustments to it. I'm going to hold shift. You want to hold shift to keep it within that perfect circle look. Hold shift and drag it up and down to make it smaller and bigger. Now we're going to duplicate this, right? To put it right next to it. So what we're going to do is select that entire thing, hold the option key, click and drag. Once you click and drag, you're dragging that same exact thing that you just selected over. I'm going to hold shift, resize that so we can get that to the right size. Just so we can get that perfect. Boom. Now remember, we are overlapping these lines. I don't want you to be watching me do this and be confused like, Jay, why are you going over the lines? This is for a reason. This is for a reason. Once you overlap these lines, this will work in the future. Now, all of my people who are actually within this age range where you actually know and remember this cartoon, just educate me a little bit on this cartoon, because I know Pink Panther. When I was a kid, it used to come on Cartoon Network, I think super early. That's when a lot of the older cartoons used to come on, but I'm not that much educated on it. Like a lot of people from from that generation of when Pink Panther was popular, they know more about it. You know, they know more about it. I remember when I was a kid, I actually seen my father play Pink Panther on the piano. So I do know that it was something to that generation because my dad was born in the 60s. So let's go. Right now, we're just getting this line work together. Make sure I got all my sites open and ready. Just in case I can properly answer any questions that's happening. Okay, let's continue. Zoom in. Make sure you zoom in and out in order to, get those lines as perfect. Whether you have to zoom in very close or zoom out very far, you want to make sure that you got that motion. Let's go ahead and make that. Boom. Now remember, like I told you, these lines for the Pink Panther all have to be pink. Right now I'm doing them black, but they will not be black once I get to the next step. I will show you guys how to color all of them pink once we get into the next step. I'm just not coloring them pink now. It's just because when they're black, they're way more visible. And I want these to be visible before I actually get to that step. A fun fact is when they originally made this, they were manually drawn. This was not anything on the computer. I don't even think computers had that. No, there was no, I don't think there was no internet in the 60s. Shit, I think I witnessed the internet because that was like in the, the 2000s or whatever. That's when the internet like became a thing. A lot of my younger people who are watching, the internet didn't function the way that we see today. There was no like Google and stuff like that. When I was a kid, people used the internet. I don't know, cause like when I was a kid, the oldest computer I ever seen was like a black and white computer, and everything just looked like a bunch of words. I don't even remember no internet or none of that. Or my aunt had one, and I feel like back then, if you had a computer, like people thought you had money. Like, yeah, that nigga got a computer at his house. That was like rare. But like nowadays, everybody got a computer, man. But yeah, back then, people didn't have technology to make things, I think, as quickly and accurately as I do them. Back then, they just didn't have the technology. So, everything was manual. All of these cartoons, everything that we witnessed on TV, they witnessed on TV back then was manual. People was manually drawing all the cartoons, and almost everything they experienced at that time was manual. And I always say, I think that's the reason why they valued the things that they had more back then. If you ever try to talk to a person who was born in the 60s, 70s, or any time before the 70s, right? If you even mention anything negative, like about something from their generation, they get very mad. It's only because like they really valued the things that came out in their generation, because they knew that a lot of things back in those times, you had to have real talent in order to achieve. Nowadays, everything is so simulated and just put together any type of way. People don't necessarily value the things that, people from that time did. But yeah, they did a lot of struggling back then. When somebody made a cartoon, that was literally somebody's full-time job. They was sitting in a studio every day, sweating, drawing, doing line work, putting colors together, and putting together storylines and stuff like that. So shout out to the people from that time who cared that much to entertain people. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get this music popping. For some reason, anybody who has Streamlabs, I might need some information. So I've been using Streamlabs, and yesterday my bill was due. But when my bill was due, I had my card locked. So I unlocked my card. I tried to manually go pay for it. And when I tried to manually pay for it, they wouldn't even let me pay for it. So I contacted Streamlabs in the messenger, and they responded, and I'm like, yo, I want to pay for my bill. They say, okay, your account is already active. I was like, okay. I'm supposed to pay my bill though. And so everybody who probably was wondering, like, yo, Jay, why wasn't you online yesterday? Because I'm thinking, my Streamlabs wasn't gonna work. Because I'm like, look, I'm trying to pay for the bill, but they won't let me pay. And I'm seeing features missing right now, like, but it's still letting me multi-stream. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Or y'all, they just gonna let me run it for free, I guess. I don't know what the hell going on. So I guess I'm just here with y'all chilling, and I'm just gonna see if they gonna try to surprise me and charge my card out of nowhere, because man, I'm trying to be loyal. I'm trying to pay these people, but something ain't right, man. So if anybody knows how to directly pay on Streamlabs, please give me that information, because I do not like no company sneaking and charging me. I don't like that. Stuff like that will make me stop dealing with Streamlabs. Don't sneak and try to take money from my account in the middle of the night. Y'all know how these companies do. 1 second, you know, you laying in the bed chilling. Next thing you know, $10 then missing from your account. Like, what the hell? I ain't even authorized this payment. Yeah, so as you can see, if you still sitting here watching this video, we're just doing the line work. Sometimes I like to take my time, and I encourage people to take your time when you're doing this line work. You want to make sure you're getting these lines very accurate. Okay, let's get this, boom. Yeah, for some reason my music is gone. It's weird. My music is gone. A couple tabs are gone, but I'm still able to stream live. Okay, I see some, hold on, because I see somebody talking. Yo, shout out to everybody that's just now jumping in. A bunch of people from Trovo is jumping in. Yo, shout out to everybody that's sending donations and everything. I didn't even notice that. That's my apologies, y'all. I was really in the zone. So hold up, let me refresh. I want to make sure I acknowledge everybody that's you know, sending stuff. Yo, shout out to my guy Cookies. I appreciate you, bro. Yo, shout out to Cage Akuma TTV. I appreciate you. It said your 8-year-old is pretty good. Oh, no, they're just conversating with each other. Yo, shout out to everybody that's coming in, showing that love to the game. I appreciate you. Yo, shout out to all the people on Behance that's watching. I don't see any comments, but I appreciate people just, you know, sitting on the sidelines watching. I appreciate that. Shout out to the 2 people on YouTube watching. Shout out to the 2 people on Twitch watching. And shout out to my people on Facebook watching. I see you in there sneaking and watching. You already know how Facebook is with that fake support. You come in and be nosy and then disappear. I appreciate you. But yeah, let's continue. Right now, as if you just now checking in, we're doing the line work. We're doing the line work of the Pink Panther. If you remember this cartoon, this was a classic to some people. The way that y'all like SpongeBob and all that, this was a classic to people back then. You even disrespect Pink Panther. You know, one of these older people might check you about that. You know, this meant a lot to some people. People was watching this on black and white TVs. So, you know. So shout out to everybody who was born in that generation. Right now, I'm just getting that line work popping. I would be playing music right now, but my music is missing. So like I said, y'all, if y'all know how to use Trovo, man, contact Trovo and see what's going on, man. Ask them why they get rid of my music. They won't let me pay them. They won't let me pay them for my subscription. And they, you know, and they won't, and my music is disappeared, man. I tried to get online yesterday, and I'm like, man, I don't even want to get online. These people playing with me. Because y'all already know, my goal is to have at least 100 streams by the time we get to, you know, by the time I get to about April. I'm trying to at least have 100. I want it to be so many tutorials that almost every cartoon has been covered. I want it to be to the point that when you see these videos, you like, damn, he done taught everything, like to the point where nobody else will be able to do it. Let me get back online, see if y'all said anything. Yo, shout out to Ashley Faith Ballantyne, always coming in showing love, baby girl. I appreciate you, for real, for real. Shout out to Trovo. It say, I'm watching and learning, brother. Yo, shout out to Cage Akuma TTV. I appreciate you. All tips and advice help. It says, back on stream. Got you tabbed, bro. Pink Panther, the OG. Yeah, yeah. Y'all tab me up. If you ain't going to be watching, at least, you know, at least leave a brother on a tab. You know what I'm saying? Lend a brother something. You know what I'm saying? Really, I don't even be looking for the donations. I'm just like, look, hold them views in there, man. Tab me up. Tab me up. I appreciate y'all, man. For real, for real. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this line work finished. We almost done. As you can see, if you are watching, we're just using the curvature tool and the pen tool. We are not using a pen tablet. And these beginner tutorials, I don't want to get into the advanced stuff. I know some of y'all might be confused because you may see me do designs. You like, Jay, the designs you do on a daily are way more advanced than this. Yes, they are, but I'm not trying to come straight in teaching people a lot of advanced stuff, because most of my audience, the people who watch me on a daily, they don't know Illustrator that well. And I just don't feel like it would be good for me to be teaching all that advanced stuff too early. I feel like once I've been in the game for a few months or something, then I could get in and show y'all a little bit more advanced stuff. But I just feel like that'll be too premature to do right now. But if y'all request it, then I could probably show you, because somebody actually did request me. They asked me this early, like when I first started, they asked me to show how to do the 3D characters that people use for, NFTs and things of that nature. Now, I can show y'all that, but I don't want to just prematurely do that because I'm telling you, it's very long and very confusing for people who do not understand the way that 3D sculpting works. If you don't understand how 3D sculpting works in these different programs like Blender and I use Blender and Nomad Sculpt, but if you see those, it's gonna confuse you. So motion detected in my front door. Let's check and see who that is. That's why it's time to move. Yo, shout out to Ruby Wilson. I appreciate you, baby. You've been showing me love for a very long time. I'm gonna finish our conversation, Ruby, as soon as I get off live stream. Unless you want to talk to me on live stream, but we can finish our private conversation off live stream. I actually showed Ruby how to do the cartoon stuff. So shout out to Ruby for trusting me to show her how to do the cartoons in Adobe Illustrator. I'm telling you, if y'all need that one-on-one session, just let me know. I've actually helped a lot of people start making money from creating cartoon designs for people. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't teach people in this type of way to create cartoon designs because, of course, when you work on your own cartoon designs, never work on these cartoons that are already established. I just show y'all this because these exercises that I show you of tracing over these cartoons, this will get you prepared for the, for working on your own designs. So that's why I always teach you these tutorials / exercises. Let me check and make sure you see if y'all said anything. I don't want to be ignoring you. He said, Blender is dope. 3D sculpture is very hard to start off. Yes, to anybody who wants to learn, 3D sculpting, you might have to pay me to show you that. Like that is something. It's very. It's hard to. It's something. Is I kind of like when I. I know I'm getting all mixed up, but when I teach it to people, it's almost the same as teaching people the pen tool and the curvature tool. If you don't have an understanding of how these function and like you just don't get it, like I'm telling you, it's going to be very hard to teach somebody that. So I think what I'll do is when I do get to the point of teaching y'all 3D design, what I'll do is I'll just teach y'all with exercises kind of like what we're doing here. Because I feel like if I teach you with exercises, then that will get you comfortable with using, the program, whatever. Because that's the thing with a lot of these programs. You just want to get comfortable with using these tools. Once you get comfortable with using these tools, then it won't be that hard when it comes down to actually putting things together. Because something that happens in college, let me break this down for y'all real quick. Something that happens in college a lot of times, and this is the main reason why I always kind of encourage people not to focus too much on doing graphic design in college before actually going into the field. Because in college, they don't actually teach you what's going on in the field, but they'll teach you like a whole bunch of like tools to use far as in graphic design. But once you're in the field, it's like learning in the field is something you would have to learn from like a person like me that's actually dealing with customers, because you can't necessarily learn that in college. the people of the people who even teach in college, they don't have customers. They're not in the field all the time, actually dealing with people and dealing with people's demands and understanding these different ways of creating designs and logos and things of that nature when it comes down to business. So they can't necessarily teach you that in school. They can teach you about graphic design and how to navigate these programs. But once you actually in the field, like that's something it's very hard to teach somebody unless like you're running into a person like me or Ruby or somebody that's actually dealing with graphic design on a daily that can actually help you navigate through this program. Okay. So what we're going to do now, once we have this line work done, if you notice, I didn't do his whiskers yet. And I'm going to actually show y'all why. As of right now, what we want to do is get these lines together because the original Pink Panther's lines are thick. So we want these lines to be nice and thick when it comes down to, what's the name? It's very hard to teach. There's so much to learn. Yes, there is so much, man. Like when it comes to 3D sculpting, they have a tool for each way that you mold something. It's almost like in real life. If you ever did any type of 3D molding, when it comes down to doing 3D sculpting in real life, you're basically doing what you do in real life, but on the computer. So you have like different tools for pulling, pushing something, molding it to different shapes, and you have to make out different shapes for different things like the eyes, the dot, the pupils, the teeth, everything. This is like that whole process is it's a doozy learning, but once you got it, you got it. Like that's my thing. Once you got it, you got it. It's not something that will confuse you or have you looking goofy. Like once you got it, you got it, man. So I encourage anybody, if you are getting into 3D design, have patience, man. Have patience. That's how you're gonna, get through that. But let's go ahead and get these lines thicker. So Pink Panther's lines, it looks like they may have drew this damn near like a marker or something. So let's go ahead and get those lines thicker. We don't want them to be too thick, like super duper like the original, but we want to get it close. So actually I like how thick it is right now. We can kind of keep it like this because his whiskers are thinner, so we're gonna keep those thinner, but the rest of these lines are thick. Okay, so once we have the lines like this, the way that we change the color of the lines, what I want you to do is select this entire thing. We're gonna select this entire thing except for the eyebrows. Matter of fact, let me check and see, was his eyes also pink? Yeah, his eyes is also pink too. So we're going to select everything except for the eyebrows because we want him to have that original pink color. This is what I usually do. Grab your eyedropper tool. I'm keep forgetting the damn name of them. Grab your eyedropper tool and click on the color that you want to use. I'm going to click the color of the reference image because the reference image has the original Pink Panther color. So click that. And as you can see, all the lines got filled in. Don't worry about that. What you want to do is click that closed box and then click the open box. Click the color in the open box right under it. Boom. Now go back to the closed box and turn it off. Just hit the red line. Boom. Now we have the original pink colors. Okay. Now let's resize that again. Let's go to the top, click on stroke. Right on stroke, it has like those different numbers. Click on the number that you feel comfortable with. I had 3. And as you can see, now all the lines are now pink. Okay, so what we're going to do now, select all of those lines. Boom. Select all those lines, and I want everybody to be paying attention. If you are following this tutorial, if you are watching this video back, if you're live and you're just watching this, you don't got nothing to worry about. But if you are watching me on the tutorial, I want you to pay attention to this part so you do not get lost. Okay, so once you have all your lines selected and you're ready to get to the next step of whatever drawing you're working on, what I want you to do is go to the top of the screen, click on Object, and then click on Group. Boom. Once you did that, you have now grouped all of your lines. If you watch my previous videos, you already know what I'm about to say next. Go back to the top of the screen, click on Object again, and then scroll down and click on Expand. Boom. The Expand menu is going to pop up. Don't click anything else. All I want you to do is just click OK. Boom. Once you click OK, now all those lines that are now grouped are now expanded and turned into shapes. Now all those lines are shapes. So now that we have them as shapes, what I want you to do is go to the right side of the screen and then click on the Pathfinder tool. Click on that Pathfinder tool. The Pathfinder tool are two squares intersecting. If you don't see that Pathfinder tool within your right side toolbar, this thin toolbar right here on the right side of the screen, what I want you to do is go to the top of the screen, click on Window, scroll down to the P's. Right there, it should say Pathfinder. Click on Pathfinder. Just so you know where exactly you're at, right above Pathfinder is Navigator, right under Pathfinder is Pattern Options. So just in case y'all get lost, once you have the Pathfinder button open, what I want you to do is go to the bottom the bottom left side of the Pathfinder menu and click on Divide. If you can't see that it says Divide, just hover your mouse over it and be still, and the name Divide will pop up. Click on that. Once you click on it, it's going to look like nothing happened. Don't worry about it. Just click off of your design. And what I want you to do is click on the white selection tool. It's called the direct selection tool. If you hover your mouse over it, the name will pop up, direct selection tool. Now what I want you to do is go inside your project and start clicking on the lines that you don't want. Because remember, we overshooted our lines. So just start clicking on those lines, just like that. I'm holding shift as I'm clicking on these lines, I mind you. Hold shift while you're clicking on them. And then delete. Just keep hitting delete until everything is gone. Just like that. You see how that design is now coming to life now that we're doing that. Or if you want, this is really a preference thing, you don't have to hold shift. You could just click and keep hitting delete. Click. Wait, let me click that line. Okay, this one got merged. So just in case your lines merge, like I said, this doesn't always happen, but if it does happen, don't worry. Click off of it. Click on your curvature tool. Click on the anchor point that has merged in. Just click on it. Hit delete. Now it's gone. Just that easy. But let's continue. Click on your white selection tool, and let's keep clicking those access lines and get rid of them. So just click it, delete. Click it, delete. We could do that the entire project. Just click it, delete. We could just click them and delete them. Or what we can do is we can hold shift, click on multiple ones, as you see me doing right now. Continue to hold shift as you clicking. And just get rid of anything that we don't need. Go ahead and click on all those lines. Start getting rid of those lines that we don't need. You want to make sure you're doing this step correctly. Some of these steps, if you mess them up, you can mess up an entire project. You want to make sure you're accurately on point on a lot of these. Let me make sure, see if y'all had any questions. He said it's also easier with a graphics tablet. I mean, a graphic tab makes Blender easier. I haven't done any 3D stuff for a long time. I'm probably a little rusty. Yes, to anybody that wants to get into 3D sculpting, I do recommend that if you do get started on it, start it on a graphics tablet. Or what I would recommend, everybody can't afford this option, but if you can afford this option, I would say try it. Start 3D design on Blender on an iPad Pro. On an iPad Pro, it's a lot easier to get started. I feel like an iPad Pro, they have way more tutorials and things of that nature. I would recommend you do that. But if you find a graphics tablet that you're comfortable with, go with whatever you're comfortable with at the end of the day. Because when it comes down to graphic design or just any design, any type of drawing or anything, any type of arts, you want to make sure you're using things that you're comfortable with. I even tell people you don't even have to watch my tutorials. Follow a tutorial that gets you to where you need to go. All right. All right. Let's see where we at. I think we got pretty much everything. Yeah, we got pretty much everything except I gotta color in the inside of his eyes black, which that would be an easy fix. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We got all his lines right. Okay, once we get to this step, what we want to do is start coloring now. Yeah, it's true. It's a cheaper option. Yeah, and to anybody that wants to get into 3D design, Blender is free. Nomad Sculpt on the iPad Pro or any Apple tablet, that actually costs money. So if this is like a budget thing, then you want to be careful with your spending. Then Blender is free, but Mac products ain't. I'll just let you know that now. Like, I don't want to mislead nobody. These Apple products is very expensive. Man, listen, I'm going to keep it all the way honest with y'all. My iPad Pro, I got the big one, the 12.9. When I first bought it, it was $1,500. I thank God I didn't have to pay the whole $1,500. Like, I got lucky, and I'm already with a phone company, Xfinity, and I was able to put that on my plan so I can pay for it every month. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. That's how I got it. But I wouldn't recommend nobody spending $1,500. But you gotta do what you gotta do for if you're trying to make money. Yeah, that's true. It's a cheaper option. They're worth the money though. Yeah, they were. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's worth the money. I still got it right now. I'll show it to y'all right now. It's sitting right next to me on my desk. This is my iPad Pro 12.9. You see this big ass screen? Hold on. Let me show you. Hold on. Wait. I got females on the notifications. Let me click that off. I don't want to expose nobody. But yeah, that's what it looked like. That's the iPad Pro 12.9. This is actually the one. This is the 2020 version, I want to say. This is that version. It's a newer one that just came out. This isn't the newest one, but this is the one right before the newest one. And I would recommend, if you are getting into sketching, 3D, even graphic design. Yo, right now, the iPad Pro is like I'm telling you, like, I get so much projects done on the iPad Pro. If you are an active designer that makes money, I'll recommend it, for real. But if you ain't really making money like that, though, I'm telling you, man, make sure you save up your money and try to get a different option, because there's a lot of money. $1,500 is a lot of money for a tablet. Okay, but let's continue to the next step. Shout out to everybody. On somebody just shared. Shout out to the person who just shared. I can't see your name. Shout out to everybody on Twitch. Shout out to everybody on Trovo. I appreciate you coming in, showing that love. Shout out to the 9 people on Behance that just stay and watch. People in Behance, they always stay and watch that whole time. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, those little 2 people. I appreciate you for holding on to the game. Let's go to the next step. All right, so once you got all your line work done, this is what I want you to do. Go to the top of your screen, click on Object, scroll down to Live Paint. There's a lot of words, but find the word Live Paint. As soon as you get to Live Paint, click on Make. Boom. Once you click on Make, you are now ready to start coloring. What I want you to do is look on the left side toolbar and look for the Live Paint Bucket tool. Live Paint Bucket tool. If what I want you to do is just look for a paint bucket. If you ever used any type of painting program or anything, it's the exact same thing. It's just a paint bucket. Click on that paint bucket. If you don't see the paint bucket, though, let's say you open Illustrator, you like, Jay, I don't even see no goddamn paint bucket. What I want you to do is look at the very bottom of the left side toolbar. It's 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots that says Edit Toolbar. Click on that. A menu should pop up, and then you can choose the Live Paint Bucket tool in that menu. Now, if you still don't see the Live Paint Bucket tool, something might be wrong with your Illustrator. Restart Illustrator. Go to the top of your screen, click on Illustrator, and click Quit Illustrator, and then reopen it and see if it's still there. If it ain't there, uninstall that shit and then reinstall it, because it should be there. If it ain't there, something ain't right. All right. All right, let's go. So what we want to do now is I'm going to bring back the color on my original layer of him. Double click on that layer 1, and then let's take it up to 99%. I want to get these accurate colors. Then click OK. Boom. Now we see his accurate colors. What we want to do is we want to get those accurate colors, because I want this to look like the original Pink Panther design. So I'm not going to use the colors from this newer one. I'm going to use it from the older one. Matter of fact, it almost seems to me like I might have colored this wrong. I feel like the pink is too bright. So I'm gonna use the eyedropper tool, which is the squirt bottle. Click on the pink in there, because that's more of a hot pink on his outlines. And what I'm gonna do is with the white selection tool, I'm gonna just color that in. Select whichever I gotta select, just like that. And then let me use the eyedropper tool and click on those outer edges, because the outer edge is like a hot pink. You see, now it's starting to look right. Let me click off of that just so I can look at it. Yep, you see how that outer line is that hot pink. And what we doing, we just selecting that with the white selection tool. Let's just select all these areas. Let's get all these areas selected. Let's change all of that to that hot pink. Their generation was different. Everybody was back in the day, they was watching TV and watching a Pink Panther. That's a one of one too. We ain't seen no cartoon like Pink Panther ever since, bro. There is no cartoon with a pink animal with pink outlines. That's a one of one. There is no other cartoon I think ever created that ever had that same style. If y'all see it, let me know, because I ain't seen it. All right. So once we have all those outline colors, the way that you'll know that you did this whole process correct as far as painting, once you click on the live paint bucket tool, hover over your design. If you start seeing parts, you see how you're seeing those reds in the inside, that means you did those steps correctly. That means you was listening to me. All right. Once you'll start seeing those highlights, and all you have to do is just click in the inside. Let's use our eyedropper tool to get that color from Pink Panther. Let's click on that. Let's get a skin. Now click your live paint bucket tool and let's just start coloring in. You see that? You see those holes in the design? Don't worry about that. Just paint right on in. You see that? Boom, boom. Just paint that right on in. Make sure we ain't missing nothing. Usually my kids is watching the live stream right now, but I think they playing that game. They're like, man, we ain't watching no goddamn live stream. We trying to get on that game. All right. Right now we just painting. We just using the live paint bucket tool to paint in all those parts. Remember, the Pink Panther has pink outlines and his fur is pink. So we just painting all that in. I'm gonna look at the original design so I can make sure I'm painting these things correctly. Because I know a lot of times with cats, they paint things a certain type of way. Zoom in if you got to. You want to make sure your design has no holes. You want to make sure everything is painted in correctly. Now remember, the inside of his eyes are yellow. Very, very weird. I've never seen nothing like that. Inside of a character's eyes yellow. As you know, with African American people, fun fact, if you ever see an African American person with yellow in the inside of their eyes, which they call jaundice, a lot of times that person may have sickle cell. That is common within the African people. Bet you didn't know that. Now you know. My best friend actually had sickle cell. He actually passed away from it. Rest in peace to my friend Ali G. Alex, to people who are from South Bend may know, is a lot of times people with sickle cell anemia have yellow eyes in this type of manner. So let's check the comments, make sure y'all ain't said nothing. It said, I'm using a Huon Canva. Oh, yeah. Are you using a Canva tablet? Okay. Okay, yeah. Oh, you using the Pro? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Bet. Yeah. So basically he's talking about he said he uses a Canva tablet, very popular within the graphic design community. A lot of times when you see people do animations and things of that nature, a lot of times they're using Canva tablets. So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, actually I wanted to get one, but I don't know, man. I just decided to go with the iPad for some reason. The iPad was just my fastest option. It was right there, and I just chose it. And I feel like the iPad, they're always updating it. That was another thing that I liked about it, and that was the reason why I chose it, because it's always being updated. It's so many different other things that other apps and stuff I can get on there. But yeah, the Canva, yeah, I would definitely recommend that to people if that's what they want to get into. So as you can see, y'all, we have got the Pink Panther done. I think the only thing we're missing is his whiskers. The only thing we're missing are the whiskers. So let's go ahead and get them whiskers popping. It said, I had a XP Pen 16 Pro, but it wasn't very responsive. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Let me make that clear for everybody. Cause he is breaking down some stuff right now. Yo, shout out, shout out to Cage Akuma TTV. When you are using a graphics tablet, this may become a problem to people who are just now getting into graphic design. Two things you want to pay attention to with graphics tablets, not just not just with the Canva tablet, but just with tablets, period. And this is another reason why I chose the iPad Pro, is when you have a pen for your tablet, you want to make sure your pen is accurate, and as you draw, it's drawing with you. Sometimes if you get a certain pen for your tablet, or you getting like if you get a certain pen, like a cheaper pen or a more expensive pen, or a cheaper device or a more expensive device, sometimes that will affect the accuracy of you actually drawing. And another thing is you want to get a glove. Some of y'all may have seen it with graphic design, little videos and shorts that you see on TikTok and things of that nature. You'll see people with a glove where the glove, let me see if y'all can see my hand. They'll have a glove that covers up these two fingers and like this part of the hand, right? And basically they'll have it like that, so as they're drawing, the tablet isn't the side of your hand isn't interfering with the tablet. So that's one thing you really want to get once you finally get into drawing and doing animation on those tablets. You want to get you that glove, and you want to make sure you have a tablet and a pen that is a little bit more updated and accurate as you're drawing. That's going to get you used to it, because a lot of people's I don't want to say excuses. A lot of people's issues with drawing on these tablets is, man, when I draw on it, it don't feel like how when I'm drawing on a paper. That's because you're getting the wrong stuff. You want to make sure you're getting stuff that's more updated and accurate, where you know for a fact when you're drawing on it, it's going to make you comfortable. Some people comfortable with the cheaper stuff, but I'm just recommending this for newer people who want to get into drawing on these graphics tablets, and you want it to be accurate. You want it to be accurate. Like I used to. Like, that was my issue. That was the main reason why I was stuck on the computer. I was like, man, I can't get with these tablets. The shit ain't accurate, man. Yes, he said, I highly recommend a 2-finger glove. Yes, get you a 2-finger glove. It said you can get a screen protectors to make it feel like a pen on paper. Yes, they have a screen protector that you can get. It's called Paper-like, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to Paper-like. I need a sponsor from them. Paper-like, once you use Paper-like, like I'm telling you, like once you use like your pen on your pen tablet, like once you start drawing on there, it's gonna feel, not only are you gonna be working accurate, it's gonna feel like you're drawing on a piece of paper. And that's what you want once you're working on these type of programs. I'm telling you, it's gonna, like, it's all about comfort. It's all about comfort and creativity. Comfort brings you to creativity. It's hard to be creative when you're uncomfortable and you feel like you're not making no progress. All right. So let's go to the end of this project, which is his whiskers. If you already been paying attention to my tutorials, you already know how to make these lines. So what we want to do now, let me keep that layer in. Let's start a new layer. Let's make these lines on a new layer. So let's double click our layer 1. And once you double click the layer, it's going to show a options menu that says dim images 2. Just click that and change it to 30. Either change to 30 or 50, whichever your preference. Now what you want to do on your new layer that you just started is turn off of your closed box and open your open box. And then right under it, click on color. Double click on your open box and choose the color black. We're going to use that for lines. Now grab either your pen tool or your curvature tool. I'll show you both of them just so it'll be a lot easier for my new people. So what you want to do is just make a line just like that. Boom. We're going to make anchor points to both ends of the line. Boom, just like that, right? Now what you want to do is grab your curvature tool, click on the middle of that line and bend it just like that. Boom, that's one line. Let's do the same thing for the next line. Click on one end, click on the other end with the pen tool. Now click on your curvature tool, grab the middle, bend it just like that. We got 2 more to left. If you follow me, let's get this exercise going. Click the end, curvature tool, bend. We got 1 left. Pen tool, click the end, curvature tool, bend it just like that. Boom. That's simple. That's how you make your lines. Now let's bring back our other one. Boom. And now if you are watching, we now have the design completed. We have just completed the original Pink Panther design. So let's go ahead. Let me check and see if there's any questions or comments. It's a I don't like the glossy screen. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. He's talking about the paper-like. To all my people who plan on getting tablets, get that paper-like screen protector if you want it to feel like you're actually drawing on paper once you finally get to the point of, you know, working on graphic design on a tablet, and you want it to feel a little bit more realistic and not too much like a glossy screen, and it feels like your pen about to slip off of, like it's some ice or something. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for coming in, checking out this video. This is the final version of the original Pink Panther. Now, just to show y'all, let's see if we got this accurate. So let's turn our layer back to 100%. Let's turn that template off. Click OK. Now let's drag our original, the reference picture we used. Let's drag that under, and boom. See how close that looks? It looks like a more updated version. If you look, you can see that I use the colors from this picture. I like this picture more because this picture is more of the original Pink Panther style. And of course, this picture right here, if you notice, this is a newer picture. I believe somebody may have drew this or made this or whatever. And I wanted it to have the original Pink Panther look. So that's the main reason why I made the colors the way that I made the colors. If you're from that generation, you can already see that I made it in the original colors that you remember from that generation, and not from a newer generation of people who've never seen it before. So I appreciate everybody for checking out these videos. And man, y'all, if you can, if you liked what you just saw, make sure you hit like. If you're on Behance, make sure you click appreciate. If you're on Trovo, if you're on Trovo, go ahead and cast a couple spells. You know what I'm saying? Cast a couple of spells, send in a little bit of donation. If you don't, I ain't tripping about it. I just appreciate you coming in and checking me out. And all my people on Twitch, I appreciate you. If you could, either hit like, follow, or send a donation. Of course, y'all know I'm not tripping about no donations, but I do appreciate you just coming in and showing love to the game. And all of my people on Facebook, remember, if you have any questions, just inbox me. If you wanted to do a one-on-one session, all you have to do is inbox me and let me know how long you need me till. I'll let you know the price, and I'll go ahead and work with you one-on-one to make sure we get your cartoon as accurate as possible. And I believe that's it, y'all. If y'all have anything else, if you are watching this video back and not on the live stream, just go ahead and just keep rewinding. If it's anything that I missed, let me know. But I appreciate y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get up off of here because I have one customer left, and we can go ahead and get it popping. So I see y'all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time.